Welcome to Style Masterclass, the podcast that teaches women to look stylish and feel confident so that they can show up ready to conquer and slay no matter what size they are. I'm your host, Miss J. You ready?
Hello. We are back on the Style Masterclass podcast in our continuing series about holiday glam. Our first episode was all about that office work party and really how to make that transition from work into glam, or if you have plenty of time, how to make that happen. I have a special guest here, Meagan. She's an amazing makeup artist. And today we're going to talk to you about that ugly sweater party, or even just that holiday themed party that you might have been invited to, that you might be having some thoughts about. You might be feeling some things about it. So we're going to talk about how to get ready for those today. Meagan, I want to ask you, have you been invited to one of these things? And what are your thoughts about it?
I haven't gone to an ugly sweater party in probably about 10 years, which is for the best, I think. They're a lot of fun, but I did for a couple years, and you just accumulate all of these ugly sweaters and you're like, what am I doing? But they are actually so much fun. And I've evolved from the ugly sweater as its own thing to the themed parties of here. They'll send a picture of an ornament and say, this is the theme, come in some kind of representation of that, or it's Christmas tree themed. So you can come up with some people go the ugly sweater route, some people go more glamorous, but it's like a wonderful kind of combination of the two that gives you a lot of creativity in a way that sometimes the more formal parties you go to don't offer you.
Yeah, I had the same transition. It was like a lot of ugly Christmas sweater partying pre-COVID. And then we moved away from that. And now we've moved into the era of like the grown-up themed party. And I'm here for all of it. Frankly, I have weird amount of stuff that fits costumes for various things on hand. Like I have hats available probably from different decades and eras, like weird amount of stuff on hand. But I think it can be very stressful for like, okay, and I saw another stylist posted today, and I just want to give a shout out to him. I think his urban suburban stylist or something. And I loved his whole position. He was like, why would you invite someone somewhere to look ugly on purpose? And I just think it's such a funny quote. And I want to say a few things about this. And then I want Meagan to give us some tips, because I think the first thing from a hosting perspective, if you're going to do an ugly sweater party or a themed party, I want you to hold the rules loosely, friends. Don't get so caught up like they don't care and make it mean all these things about you if your friends are just not into it, because you'll have lost the plot. And the whole reason for having this gathering is so that your humans whom you love, presumptively, can get together. And if you're in an office situation and your office loves to do theme parties, my firm loves to do Halloween in a way I've not seen. Like the offices compete with costumes. It's like, it's a thing. It's a thing. And they do themed Christmas parties, holiday parties. So for some folks, like they get really into it. And I just want to say, whether you're the one organizing it for your office, you're doing it personally, you're attending, like just hold the rules loosely and give people ideas on how to execute whatever it is you were hoping for. Like, let's make it easy for our friends to participate if we're really committed to being a hostess with the mostest and having some sort of themed something. The other thing I want to just offer is, if you're an attendee for these things, please don't be a poor sport. Like if you really can't muster like the desire to go in theme, please graciously let your host know, I will not be dressing in theme. I'm not comfortable. It's not really my jam, but I would love to participate in this way. I would love to still show up. Are you comfortable with that? I know you probably want to get a stellar picture for the grams. I'll just bow out of the picture, but I definitely want to come. Like, just let people know. I think the worst thing you can do is begrudgingly talk shit about the theme, begrudgingly try and buy something and show up as a poor sport with a bad attitude. Like, no, you're a grown-up. We're all grown-ups. It's okay to say, hey, this is the willingness to participate. Here's the level of it. And then have fun. Like these things are open to interpretation. My husband has the same ugly Christmas sweater, and I put that in air quotes, that he made himself. He's on the spectrum. And we sat for 2 hours carefully placing at random, and they're not randomized. If you actually pay attention to what's on this Christmas tree that's upside down in the sweater he made, they're not randomized beads, but they look like they were random. And he wears the same sweater every year. And anytime we get invited to these things, he busts out the sweater. So don't feel pressured to buy new things. Just reinterpret the thing you already have in a new way and just let this be fun. Even if it's in a corporate office setting, interpret it to the best of your ability. Still wear your suit if that's what you want to do. And then maybe your makeup or your accessories where there's a place to play and still be on theme, still be appropriate, still be a good sport. So with that, I want to transition it to Meagan. What are your thoughts about how to kind of style the makeup for these kinds of parties?
I think what's really important, and again, like you said, now we are adults. We get to choose how we spend our time and what brings us joy. Sometimes we are obligated to go to certain events that we aren't really that excited about. But what's important is how we decide to show up to them. And so having that like positive attitude about how you're going to, whether or not you're going all in or playing it a little bit more conservative, as long as you're going into it with the intention of having a good time and knowing that some people, their definition of a good time is different than yours. That's the best that we can hope for. Like you said, be a good sport. The holidays are supposed to be fun. Yes, there are things that we have to do, but finding ways to make them fun for ourselves is part of being an adult. So when it comes to the makeup, I think, again, one of the nice things about a theme party is it kind of gives you two different ways you can go with both your outfit and your makeup. So if you're somebody who is like, well, I've got to wear this frumpy thing that I don't feel super great in, it's maybe not my favorite, you can decide to glam yourself up in your makeup so that you still feel good about yourself. You don't have to say, okay, well, I've got this crazy sweater, so I've got to do crazy makeup and then I'm going to feel bad all day. The great thing about Christmas time is a lot of reds and golds and silvers and greens. And the reds especially, if you put on a matching red lipstick and just like a nice classic cat eye, that's gorgeous on everyone. Everyone loves old Hollywood glam makeup style, and it's going to match your sweater. So it's not like, oh, I didn't play along. Like you can find ways that the makeup feels more like yourself, even if the sweater is a little crazy. Or you can get really into the season and start going with those metallics, like the gold and the silver. And you don't have to even go crazy with them. You can find that happy middle ground of even like a nice glitter liner is so fun. You're going to get so many compliments, and it's not going to be a huge, crazy disco ball eyes or glitter lips.
Yeah.
Just those subtle ways to add in the colors that are in your ensemble.
I like it. It's an easy way to play. And what's coming to mind to me is one of my clients, we'll call her Jay, also a J, and her initials are JB. And I think she'll know who she is. I'm giving her a little shout out because I watched her for a few months play with different like chapsticks before she like graduated to something with more saturation. Another client, AM, went full on playing with the reds and different textures and shades. It was actually really cool to see both of them playing with makeup. But I would say particularly JB, who I'm thinking of, she didn't really wear any makeup at all. Like she's a doctor. It wasn't really something she wore every day. So let's say we're invited to one of these themed parties. And like maybe for the first time, like I want to try something. Like what would be the one thing that they could experiment with for this particular kind of fun occasion for a themed party, but not put this like huge pressure on themselves?
So one of the things I really like to play with, especially around the holidays, are gold and silver metallic powders. The nice thing with these types of colors is they can be both like a little sheared out if you're not quite ready to go full on. You can use them as both eyeshadows or even incorporating a little bit of highlight because it's more intense than a regular highlighter, but it's still going to be a little, you can blend it out to be a little more subtle. Or you can mix in water or setting spray or a mixing medium and create this like super opaque, shiny, looks like foil kind of gold and silver accent wherever you want. You can use it as just an eyeshadow. You can use it as a lipstick even. But however you would normally use other makeup that you're already comfortable applying. So something like an eyeshadow where you're just covering your lid. You don't have to smoke it out or make it very precise, is going to be enough and fun enough on its own to give you that kind of special pop.
I love that. I love that. And here's what I would say from a style perspective, some ways to play with this. Like, let's say you really are not a joiner in this way, and like a theme party is like the last fucking thing you want to do, but you want to be a good sport. Here's 2 things I would absolutely try. First thing is I would ask your friends. Chances are in your network of humans, somebody has something they've worn for another party and would be happy to lend it to you so that you could be a good sport and show up to the thing. Like, chances are somebody you know has an ugly sweater. Chances you know somebody has some kitschy jewelry that you can wear. And that way you don't have to buy anything. You wear it, have fun, move it along. The other thing is, if you really are like, I really don't want to do this, but I know I have to do something, accessories are your place to play. Whether it's, holiday brooches are totally a thing during this season, really fun jewelry, earrings, necklaces, things that, yes, we know you would not normally wear this, but for you to be a good sport, for you to be a good team player, especially if you manage a team and your whole team likes to get decked out, it is appropriate for you to try something, wear a little something, just play with the accessories, wear whatever your normal suit is, whatever your normal work attire is, and like play it up and let it be fun that way. And then for my nerds who fully embrace this, and I work with a firm full of a lot of nerds who like, yes, count me in for all the fun things. I would say like coordinate, have fun. Like, what are your colleagues wearing? Like, can you all kind of create a theme together? If you're going to a more personal themed party, like really ask what is being worn, have fun with this, like fully indulge in this season, because there's no other season where nerddom can really like go full out. Enjoy it to the very last drop. And yeah, you might be what somebody might consider overdressed, or you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be over the top. I don't want to be the only one. And what I would like to say to that is it's such a signal to your host or hostess that you cared enough to try out the theme. It's such a way of saying, thank you for putting this on. This is how seriously I took it. This is how excited I was. This is how much I really wanted to attend by you going full out. So if that thought is in the back of your mind, I just want to tell you, it's your way of saying, thank you. Like, here's how much I wanted to be here. And I think that reframe can be really, really helpful. So Meagan, I'm going to kick it over to you before we finish out this episode. 1, what is a takeaway that you'd like them to have before we adjourn? And then where can people find more information about you?
I think, again, it's about having fun. And if you're going to have the most fun by doing a classic look to match what you're wearing, and that's going to put you in the best mood, then go ahead and do that. Or if you want to paint on some snowflakes or little mistletoe eyeliner, if you've got some friends who are artistically creative, then again, get a group together and do a little bit of face painting, because even as adults, it's fun to have a little snowman on your cheek.
Like, play, y'all, play.
Exactly. We don't incorporate play enough. And these are the perfect moments to find new ways to express ourselves creatively. So I hope that everyone finds something in these parties that give them a little excitement and a little bit of that kind of childhood giddiness around the holidays that, a lot of us have grown out of.
Yes. So good. And where can people find you? Let's say they wanted to, she created a beautiful lookbook. So I'm just going to plug that really quick, but where can people come play and hang out with you and learn more about you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram or visit my website. They're both Meagan Gorham, meagangorham.com or at Meagan Gorham. And you can get the link to my holiday lookbook on the bio in my Instagram or on my website. And if you want to talk more one-on-one about how you can incorporate different elements to make your look, you can also book a virtual or in-person lesson. Or if you just want to take everything off your plate and have me come and do your makeup, if you're New York City based, then you can also book me there as well.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, y'all, we have another installment. We're talking New Year's Eve. So stay tuned, friends. For now, we are out.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. To learn more about how to work with me, go to judithgaton.com. Click on the Start Here button to get access to my free personal style class. I give you a quick style win, a confidence boost, and you walk away with the tools to start getting stylish. Who doesn't love that? See you there. Miss J out.